My name is Aram Vartian. I am the Dungeon Master for Godsfall, and welcome back for episode 15, Power Play. A lot of things are happening this week, but before we get to them, we have one more shout out to Battle Bards. Battle Bards creates amazing audio for all of your tabletop RPG needs, and this week we're going to talk about some of the scenes they've created to add life to your campaigns. Whether it's a goblin attack, a werewolf transforming and assaulting the party, an enraged fire elemental, even a torture chamber staffed by giants. So if you want your tabletop RPG to sound like Godsfall does, check out battlebards.com. And while you're online, don't forget to visit godsfall.com. We've got tons of maps and character backgrounds and information that really helps flush out our world. And as we're still in the capital city of Ani, you might want to check out our full-size Anian map that marks all the major areas of the city. And while you guys are there, if you want to check out our Patreon account or pick up a t-shirt from us, any amount you guys can help us with goes right back into the podcast so we can keep increasing the quality.
My name is Doug, and I play Dorro Knott, the level 3 halfling rogue.
Hi, I'm Kay, and I am playing Phryane, the High Elf Bard 3rd level.
Hi, I'm Steven. I play Torrvic Wildtongue, the level 3 Dwarf Paladin.
Hi, I'm Michael. I play Xion and Pera, a level 3 Sorcerer Human.
Last week, the players were separated even further as Phryane was tricked into an arranged marriage by her father.
That's why your dad's in a full dress uniform, and that's why everyone else is in full dress uniforms.
Ryland uniform.
And you're about halfway to the throne before you look up and see that the queen, the new queen, who used to be the great-great-granddaughter, a princess, is also in formal wedding attire.
Xion and Pera awaited trial for the chaos their party has created.
Well, then Pera and I guess, sit quietly, and I'm not planning on trying to escape again.
And Dorro and Torrvic tracked down an old enemy.
The Silver Herring.
The Crimson Rave, the silver herring? No, you know what? Fine, the silver herring. I like that.
Don't mind me, I'll just name everything.
The silver herring. That's fine.
I'm the DM!
You can see that Baron LaFleur's ship has docked here, and that the wagon carrying your somebody you know has pulled up through this park and is pulling in behind this building here, which is the Senate.
To the north of the circle.
Correct. So yeah, so they're pulling into this first building on the north, or this first cluster of buildings on the north, and the ship is docked over here on the west.
Since you're now at the mouth of a harbor, you can see for a good mile all around you. And you notice clusters of Anian guards gathering all over the public squares. They are stopping people, they are checking papers, they are looking in bags and satchels, they are shoving their halberds into stacks of hay. They are clearly forming a dragnet and looking for people.
I want to see who comes out of this carriage.
Oh, well, it pulls up to a gate. There are guards there. They open the gate and the carriage is going inside. So you're not going to be able to see.
What's this building?
Basically,
says Dorro Knott's brain.
There is a Senate that, and it clearly looks like a big office, not big office building, but like a big government of the time building. Columns and
high pillars,
columns and eagles and shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I can't see the carriage even after it's pulled.
There is a fenced-off area behind it. The walls are about 30 feet high, and they're going inside those walls. At least they're about to. They're, papers and guards and blah, blah, blah. Right.
I'm not convinced as to whether any of them are actually in that carriage. Pera may have been at that carriage at one point, but we don't have any idea whether they're in it now.
Aren't we kind of like important people in the city? Can't we just say hello and let us in?
Who do you think that dragnet was for? from jail.
We were.
Look. I know you haven't done this a lot, but just kind of follow me for a little bit, okay?
All right.
We definitely don't want to go running into some kind of guard headquarters. I say we watch the place and see what happens. I'd also like to keep an eye on that ship as I point to Baron LaFleur's ship.
As you do, you notice that it has docked.
But they're clearly like rolling up or having things carry up other
Correct.
barrels.
Exactly. Along with some produce and some meats as well.
And that's
In the form of a sheep. Because they want them fresh.
Yeah, I really want
Do I think that those barrels are full of any sort
Yes, they're definitely full of a liquor of sorts.
How about I watch the ship?
How about we both investigate Baron LaFleur's ship?
Yeah,
and
done.
we assume no one's in that carriage. I would like to try and get to very physically close to either one of the empty barrels or one of the filled barrels.
So they are loading barrels from the far end of the dock. There was some payment that was exchanged, and they've been rolling them up. There's about maybe 24 of them total. They've loaded on, let's say, 6. It'll take about 10 minutes to get around to that part of the dock.
I take 10 minutes to get around to that part of the
Are you
dock.
going with him?
Yeah.
Okay. I want you both to roll stealth. Okay. So you guys, you can't. Well, no, wait a minute. You guys are kind of sneaking around for a while, like casually. Well, you're not really sneaking, just walking along the edge, but just keeping an eye on where you are going. And Torrvic is keeping a very good eye on where he's going, and so he walks straight into a melon cart and just boom, and a couple melons clatter to the ground. And there's a woman that's like, "You broke my melons."
Sorry. Here.
Those are 5 silver apiece. Those are very good melons.
I don't know about that. But
Pretty exorbitant.
yeah, that's a
Sure
little.
does, doesn't it?
5 silver?
Those are
lady?
5 silver. Excuse me, young man, but what do you know about melons?
Actually, all of it says my 16 bluff check. I actually happen to know that these melons are worth a lot less than that.
Well, her 19 bluff check says, well, son, you don't know much about the far northern copper melon, and that's what these are. They may look like your common southern melons, but these, son, these.
All right, then, you motherfuckers. 13 says, oh, well, I happen to know that the tax tariffs in this city actually affect that fruit a little bit differently, so that happens. Yeah. Yeah, you want to play a luck fight? Let's try. Let's go.
You mentioned taxes, and she seems to get a little nervous. She's like, well, look, I'm sure that, we all make mistakes. I'm sure 2 silver each is quite enough to cover for my 4 melons that fell.
Lady, I don't know much about math, but that looks like 3 to me.
So, help me out.
This one's rather fine. 3, that's 6 silver, fine. Highway robbery, I say. Be accosted by ruffians who
Yeah.
steal my melons.
I just give her a gold piece.
Oh, dude, fantastic. Here, son, take a melon.
God damn it.
Keep taking yours.
They're good melons. They actually look delicious.
I'm not
In
trying
fact,
to scam people.
in fact,
We don't want melons.
as she's saying, please take a melon. Oinkers
is just
eating
nose
the
deep.
ones on the ground that are smashed. Just happening, eating up those melons.
Here's a gold piece for your trouble.
Thank you. Get your pig out of my. This is a clean establishment.
I just gave you a gold piece, lady. The pig can eat.
I'm crabby.
No kidding.
So you take
All right, Wankers, let's go.
the. He's like.
All right, take half with you. Come on.
Ah, excellent. So you kick oinkers at half 8 melon perception rolls while that was happening.
No, 5.
6 again. I gotta get rid of this die.
Okay, you guys keep
Yeah,
on.
a wealthy person's meal is like 8 silver pieces.
Yeah, no, she was totally bullshitting them to get more money. She saw an opportunity and jumped on it. She was a sly, crafty old lady.
Yeah, man. If you saw 2 bumbling idiots
Yeah.
crashing your car, wouldn't you upcharge them?
Might as
I
well
would
get that.
upcharge them a plausible amount.
There's a motherfucker in New York City charging $35 for hot dogs.
Yeah.
Anywhere this will happen.
Yeah,
You know what the crazy thing is? People are paying it.
People are paying it.
People are paying it.
People are like, okay, sure,
What?
$35 a hot
That's
dog,
why
why
his
not?
cart's still there.
So you're now across the canal looking at his ship being loaded.
I don't know if this is still a thing. It's
Take 20?
5e. Yeah, I want to take 20.
You can take a 20? Yes.
Okay. I want to
It'll
take
take 20 minutes.
to make sure he doesn't know we're here.
Yes, fair enough.
I will go way out of my way.
You guys
if
are
I
just
need
take-
to
you guys are
make
taking
sure
the
that
next
he doesn't
20
know that I am here.
You're taking the next 20 minutes to meander your way over. As you are, and as you're watching him, you can see that Baron is directing barrels up onto a ship, but he's also directing his men out. And he sends out 16 men.
Okay.
So he just sent them out into the town in groups of 2.
God, that's like most of the crew. Why are they
Easily.
leaving?
Why are they leaving? And why are they leaving in groups
Is
of
there
two?
no? I can't like. Are they running?
They're all
Are they
walking.
arming?
They're
Like-
all walking in different ways.
Oh, they're just spreading out.
Yes.
This could be short leave, as far as I'm concerned.
But yeah, but they're all leaving in groups of two.
Well, but as without
Sexy
any
time,
cause,
short leave.
I
That's,
was-
that's right. There's both people who are from the crew and dock
but
workers
they
who are
work
not
on the
of the
dock.
crew.
They're not a part of the ship.
There's both.
Right?
There's both people on the crew. There's whatever's left of the crew and dock workers. And frankly, you're not 100% sure which one's which because it's not like they're in uniform. His crew is just in whatever.
That's true.
You know. There is a second ship. It is a smaller ship than this one. It has 2 masts on them. There are barrels being rolled off of that ship, and the crew that seem to either be working with or know Baron LaFleur's crew because they seem to be very friendly with each other, have more or less abandoned that ship as they're moving all the stuff off
When
and
you
onto
say,
this one.
I'm sorry to dig into stuff. And
Go
I know
ahead.
You guys want to play and stuff, but when you say they're friendly, how?
They just seem like they seem very casual with each other. There's handshakes, there's a little bit of laughter, there's clearly a camaraderie. Like maybe they've all been one crew, maybe they've worked with each other, whatever. They seem to know each other.
The 2-mast ship has less people on it.
The 2-mast ship currently looks like it's got no one on it.
That's where most of the bulk of the product.
That's where it came from. You don't know what else is on that ship, but that's where it came from. Roll an intelligence roll.
6.
Okay, yeah, I mean, their barrels came out of it.
I want to try and lead Torrvic on, or at least close enough to that ship to the point where I can get him to taste some of this so I can figure out what it is.
If you get that close, you're seeable by Baron LaFleur and everyone. I mean, it's
Specifically Baron LaFleur?
It's only you'll be like 100 feet
Where is
from them.
Baron?
So they're like 100 feet away. Like there's one ship being offloaded, it's being rolled down the edge of the harbor, then up the dock to the other one. They're like 100 feet from each other. If you get that close, you'll be visible.
I've been kind of connecting with my power, Torrvic. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I couldn't help but notice that you're starting to get closer and closer to yours. I think in this situation, it's time for you to really flex some of your power. Summon whatever is in this area. Fish, crabs, dolphins, whales, seals. I want the biggest commotion that you can cause with whatever you are now. Think about all the times that you've connected to animals.
I've been right in
Specifically
front of
this
them.
pig. Think about this connection that you're creating. Feel the line between you and what this pig is. Because obviously, Oinkerts is following you around. He's kind of taking your command. There's some kind of connection between animals and you. And what you need to do is feel the rest of the connections to the rest of the animals. Do you think you can call upon the animals to maybe do this?
Sure. I don't know. What do you want me to do? Sit here and think about Bambi?
No, but maybe.
How are you showing him this? Are you showing him the same way you tried to show others, where you like tried to like use your powers?
If I figured out with her
Right.
that when we combined our powers, there was kind of a let it flow and go.
You were
type of
almost able
thing,
to lead her towards
I'm going to
yours.
automatically do that with him. Because if that produced an effect, then this will produce an effect.
I need you to both to roll wisdom.
It's a 20.
Yep.
But because my wisdom is 9, it's 19.
But it's a
Okay.
natural 20.
But it's a natural 20,
But
so
it's
it
a natural
doesn't
20.
It doesn't matter. So he starts talking about this bridge, and you don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. But you never understand what the hell Dorro is talking about. But he's going on, and finally you just
Boop, you're so pretty.
right, exactly. Finally, you just like you're droning him out, and you're thinking about like, okay, he wants me to connect with the animals, but how do I, and like, what did I do that? And you've done it before. The one time we did it before was just outside Turtle Bay, when you were able to connect with them, when they all told you the God King was gone, when you heard them all reverberate at the same time. So you begin to think about Turtle Bay and how you were linked in there, and your mind just seems to float. And then you're over the bay, and you can hear the fish, and you can hear the sound, and the turtles and the porpoises yelling back at you, and then you can hear a very loud, deep sound, and it seems just to pull you beneath the waves. It's heart, its strength, its size just kind of draws you into it, and you see his eyes flare open all of a sudden as you're talking to him, and you
Bingo.
You both gasp and are driven to your knees as a creature explodes from the harbor. It's about 12 feet long, and its greenish-brown body is thick like a cow's, each leg ending in an individual flipper as it thrashes about on the surface. Its serpentine neck ends in a thick oval head rung with sharp teeth, and lets out a plaintive wail as a second beaked mouth appears underneath it, snapping it clean in half. You both are slammed to the ground as this force drags you towards the harbor. The air is knocked from your lungs and black stars flicker on the edges of your vision. A 60-foot-long dragon turtle erupts to the surface, raining thousands of gallons of water down all around it. It rears back and lets out an almighty roar that echoes across the harbor.
That was all you, baby.
You got a distraction. Well done.
That'd distract a whole team of people, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine why they thought you all were a threat.
Yeah.
Sorry we ruined the city.
Now I'm fucking everything up because I can
summon
summon sea dragons.
It's gonna be
Yay!
easy.
Well,
Winkers,
fortunately,
he's
they'll be
gone.
in front of the council right before this happens, so maybe they'll talk their way out of it. So you guys are brought around back. Your shackles are removed from the floor and then immediately reshackled. You are walked into a back chamber where you are checked again for weapons or anything else. They strip you and they place you in clean brown linen robes. Pera has a pretty good welt on his forehead, which is not bothered to heal yet. And your jaw hurts like fuck, but otherwise than that, you're fine.
What about his arm?
Oh, Pera, his arm is broken. Yeah, his arm is broken and it's been bandaged. Thank you. I'm just so used to his arm being broken. But it is not broken and in a sling and his head is all banged up. You and Pera are in a small chamber and you're basically being held in a cell. You're being held in separate cells. So there's like a small little cell, there's bars in the middle, and he's immediately next to you. So you can see him, and you're like, you can touch his fingers, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll grab his hands through my shackles.
All right. Pera just kind of reaches up and he grabs yours.
I'm so scared.
I'm scared too, man. I don't know what to do.
I don't either. I just want you to know something. If we don't get out of this alive, I love you.
And he just kind of looks at you, and he's confused for a second, and then he smiles. And he reaches, and he tries to reach in further through the bars, but he can't. He just can't get his hands in further. But he's like, I love you too.
Okay, let's try to get out of this alive then.
I can get us out.
We already tried to escape and we saw what happened.
No matter what happens, I'm going to get you out.
I'm gonna get you out too.
And there's a boom as the door gets slammed open. Like, all right, wham, 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 wham. They open the gates, they walk you both out, and you are walked into the Senate
chamber. Everyone has gray hair.
powdered wigs.
Yes.
All around. And he's big on powdered wigs.
On the northern top of the great inner harbor sits a stone cylinder with walls that taper inward, the glass-smooth surface covered with gold leaf. A single narrow slit on the southern end provides entrance inside. The inner chamber consists of a huge circular platform covered in a dome ceiling that somehow mimics the sky above, both in light and warmth. It is ringed on all sides with stadium seating for representatives of the 5 kingdoms. Along the north, 5 platforms jut out from the rest, each decorated with their country's flag and colors. The Speaker of Ani sits in the center before a 6-pointed gold star resting on a field of deep crimson, hung on a narrow banner that stretched 30 feet above and seemingly was suspended in midair. To the left are the representatives of Brennus and Wessel, while to the right sit those of Kadar and Rizan. Every member of the council rises when the assessed are brought into their chamber, a tradition to remind those in power that everyone, even those who stand accused of great crimes, are free men and women worthy of respect until a verdict is cast. Xion and Pera are both marched before the representatives and walked onto a pair of 5-foot stone discs. As you two step onto them, you feel a hollow wave of cold slam into you, and you feel drained and pulled downward slightly as some sort of field envelops you. The Speaker of Ani is an elf of indeterminate age, much like many of them are. She is dressed in a simple amber gown and sits in the center of the speakers, a golden rod held gently in her fingers. She stands, introduces herself as the representative from Ani, Amra Tinueth. She then turns and introduces the rest of the speakers one by one. Gregos Korba, human, Brennus. Gregos is a large, stout man in his late 40s with streaks of gray in his black hair and beard, both worn long and slightly unkempt. He wears thick coal-black leathers and sits in front of a banner of deep emerald edged with silver. Kuwat Moody, human, Wessel. Kuwat is a tall, slender man with dark skin and short black hair. He is wrapped in a series of colorful, loose-fitting fabrics with many frills and tassels and sits in front of a golden banner lined with deep orange. Karlov Praetin, human, Kadar. Karlov is a tall man who sports a surprisingly slender waist for a man in his 60s. His silver hair grows long, as does his beard, and he wears the traditional black skull cap of the anti-Theots. A seeker stone worn round his neck glows ever brighter as Pera and Xion are led inside, eliciting gasps from the General Council, though his grim face reveals no surprise. Ogunt Sozin, Dwarven, Ryzan. Ogunt, short and round even for a dwarf, appears in her late 30s with curly, bright hair and many freckles across her pale skin. She is wrapped in layers of rich golden fabric and seems to show very little interest in any of these proceedings.
Your uncle, your great uncle, is looking as stern and awful as ever. His face kind of just forms a bunch of wrinkles that make like a V. Like everything is tight and wrinkly and like really tight, fine lines. He's got that kind of thinning wisp of gray hair that he streaked back really, really tight. So it's like this constant oil slick on a sheen of a surface. And his shoulder pads are broad and severe. And his face is dour and he has a staff in his hand and he's just glaring hate at you.
Hi, Uncle.
Yeah. Order! And the charges against you are read. Treason. Treason against the Empire.
Held in trial? Him, Pera?
Him and Pera, and two in absentia, who are also named as Torrvic Wildtongue and Dorro Not. Both of you are named in absentia. You are being tried with treason.
Not that I would know that.
You're being no, but you asked. So you are being tried with treason against the kingdom, treason against the city of Ani, destruction of a holy temple, destruction of military and state property, as well as the murder of 3 Anian guards.
How much do I know about the Aenean legal system, i.e., do we have like an advocate or anything else?
14, you know that you are your own advocate.
Oh,
that there it is an open legal system. You speak for yourself, and everyone speaks for themselves. There are no lawyers in this particular world.
Oh, shit.
Good luck.
I really hate this.
Next to you, Pera, just with his arms, because both your arms are now chained behind your back on the something, chains, right, behind you. You're standing on one of those pedestals. As soon as you are stepped up onto it, you feel the power that you could connect to just drained away from you. You have no access to it whatsoever while you were on these stones.
I also don't like that part.
Yeah, I don't like that part either. So you are now in chains, powerless, and next to you, as you are contemplating what's been said and what's being said to you, Pera just glares at her and says, "Innocent."
Well, do I have to say guilty to all the charges?
No, you have to say either innocent. Well, you can say, actually, you know what? They
With
read off
contingency?
each charge, and then you can answer after each charge. And Paris says innocent after every single one.
Okay. Well, what are the charges again?
Treason,
Innocent.
destruction of both Anian military and state property.
Was that the carriage? Then probably guilty.
The carriage too. Well, that's kind of nuanced. Actually, Pera would kind of look at you and say, I guess we're kind of guilty for that
one.
one.
Known that, so you would have said non-guilty. Yeah.
Well, basically they mean the ship,
Okay.
right? They mean the Temple of Zavan.
Not my fault. Not my fault.
They made kind of Pera's fault for the ship, but Pera says innocent too.
Yeah, well,
and then I guess the carriage, but that's really personal property.
Right. That's like small claims court.
Right, really, yeah,
We'll
you
do
have
it
to
that
worry
later.
about that.
Okay. Treason is a little more. So innocent. Innocent.
Okay.
Innocent.
Innocent. The murder of 3 Anian guards.
I don't know anything about that. Innocent.
So the first person to speak is her mother, and her name again is Amra. Stands up from her seat and leans over the edge and looks down upon you and says, "If you are not to blame, then who is?"
It depends on which thing you're talking about.
We are being told that you have powers, magic. Is this true?
Magic is re-entering the world, and it is doing so through us.
Conduits for this magic, are you?
We are adolescents.
But you have brought great power into the city. Unknowingly, unannounced. You have made several attempts to hide it. You continue to try and hide it now. Are any of these things untrue?
I'm only trying to protect your daughter.
Oh, they're like, "Roar!" Silence!
Speaker Tenuous.
Silence! Your uncle is just like the hate is just seething from him right now. You're trying to protect my daughter. My daughter is very shortly to be the most powerful, no, the second most powerful woman in this city. I can't imagine why she'd have to worry about your protection. You are now in the middle of this aisle being walked down, and your father looks incredibly pleased with himself, and he's just gently patting you on the arm as your fingers, just alight his. And it's like, it is a lovely day for a wedding, my dear.
So I would like to get a read off of. What's her name?
Oh, Cyrena. Cyrena, yes. Cyrena, well, you might actually roll for this one. Roll me a wisdom, please. You also have history. You two knew of each other. You grew up around each other.
Right. No, I'm just trying to get her read of like how she's reacting.
How she feels right now.
Is she pleased about this?
Yes.
Is she going along with it?
Gotcha.
Is she upset?
Gotcha.
Well, I'm not going to find out because that is a 4.
Yeah, you're a little stunned. I don't think you saw this one coming. And she is now standing up, and she is walking down the staircase, and she's going to meet you like about maybe 20 feet in front. You notice that there is clearly a minister here from the Church of Zavan. There are relatives here that you haven't seen in a while. It looks like you're going to marry the queen.
As I lightly rest and I sort of force a smile.
Hello.
And through my teeth, I ask my father, what are the terms of the contract?
The terms of the contract are securing all of our futures for a very long time, my dear. And you'll have all the power and servants you could ever hope for. Just be her face in court. It's all she expects. It's all any of our families expect. We just want to keep a brave face and keep the country together, while of course strengthening our own position.
What is my role vis-a-vis her and vis-a-vis him?
Well,
vis-a-vis one another.
Traditionally, you are now
am I going in as like queen consort? Like, what is?
You are the queen. So, but there are 2 queens now. So how this will work is that she has the last say. But if she's not in a room, you're treated just as equally as she is. She's there alone, being given off by a economic advisor that you know.
How about a servant?
No.
I bet there would be like one servant that
in the wedding
tasked
party
their entire lives
Yeah.
with raising this girl. And
Yeah.
She has no fucking parents.
There
There's always like
This isn't
one
even
life
emotional.
But this is a protocol. This is a
There
protocol.
absolutely is some servant that has raised her for her entire life and been like a father figure, and he's in the back where he belongs. And there is a
If
counselor.
he's in the room at all.
Right.
If he's in the room at all, there is an economic counselor that is giving her away that she's never met, or more than probably twice in her life, but owns a bunch of grain fields out in, wherever. So that's the one giving her away. That's how the world works then.
And so now that I'm like closer to her and can look at her,
Yeah.
I'd like to try reading her again.
You don't even need to. She just kind of turns to you and she's just going to smile at her and she's like, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? She's
Okay.
she knows too. She's like, she knows exactly where she is. She knows who you are. You guys have never been friends,
Right.
but you've gotten along, and she's a pretty plain spoken individual. I mean, she knows that this is, for show and for the people.
As I'm trailing by people, I'm trying to influence their view of me.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And they all want to be happy. So this is not a hard pull. I mean, everyone wishes to feel joy here. You just tweak it up.
I smile at her. I give an imperceptible, except to her, nod,
Of course.
and prepare to take my place.
Your God King, our God King, is dead.
Whoa, and there's like, rubble, lion, pointing.
We were the
there's
last-
some wall lights in the area that heretic are throwing things at you.
We were the last to see him, the last to speak with him. He had seen in dreams, as had I, a great comet coming for the earth. He did his very best to save the people of Turtle Bay. I am Xion Pera. I am a direct descendant of Crazon Pera. The power of the gods now flow through me, through my friends, through Phryane Tenuith.
And there's some yelling for a while, and Amra just slams her staff down a few times to quiet everyone down. So, patience. You say you are connected to the gods.
We are the emissaries of the plains.
Then why should we not just burn you right here, before you have a chance to sow more destruction throughout these lands?
Because
Errol, heard you first.
because Pera and I, as well as our companions Dorro and Torrvic, we pledge ourselves to the service of Phryane Tenuith and to whoever is returning as the new God King.
He's not dead! Heretic! Lots of that now. They're on their feet. They're being acquainted. A lot of the wallites are being drug out right now because they will not simmer down. Kuat Moody, he doesn't stand. He just kind of gestures with his hand. The child seems sensible. He seems amused by the fact that this is causing so much chaos in Anu. You can't really tell if he's with you or just playing along because it amuses him. Allow this one to speak for a moment. Pera, you are from our lands. Do not look at him. Speak for yourself, child. All I know is that I had everything taken from me for this. We're from all over, and we were drawn together, and there's got to be a reason. So you say. But what if that reason does not help us? What if that reason is not a good one? The last time the gods got together, they destroyed the whole world. Why would working together help us now?
Because the other gods, the others who are arising right now, they're not necessarily going to be quite so easily led as we.
You and everyone else in this chamber hears the roar of a dragon turtle. The doors fling open, your father gently cups your arm, and a wedding march sounds, trumpeting throughout the entire halls. The queen is sat before you underneath the well. Braddock's in his gold uniform, as are about 6 dozen other guards, all lining the way. Oh, come on, daughter, could you have done better? Are you not saying anything to him? No. Are you mad? Like, what is your general vibe right now?
My general vibe is I am pretty sure what I know my next move is going to be, and I'm getting ready to execute it.
All right, excellent. So he walks you.
Yeah, I know what I meant. Like,
Guards, arrest this
So you start up the stairs, I assume?
yes.
The God Queen stands and she places both hands out towards you. And then as you're holding her hands, you notice she's wearing the tabard under her dress.
Right.
Yeah. So it's about a 10-15 minute ceremony. They stop a couple times and talk about the gods of On and the peacefulness in Ani and the bread and the breaking, and everyone's happy, and we are now all together after this calamity that we blah blah blah, right? That goes on for a while. I now pronounce you wife and wife, and rice and flowers and
I'm just gonna lay one on her.
very nice. Okay, so one hand up, one hand down each,
Yeah.
basically to the camera, right? You know. Perfect. All right. Excellent. And the party begins, and people begin to come up to both. Let's just say Elred first. Such a pleasure, my majesty.
I know.
And he hands you a packet, like a really nice, fancy, enveloped, wax-sealed packet, and bows politely and steps away. And a couple people do this. These are just wedding offerings, and they just come, kind of fast and loose. And apparently, it's your job to receive all of these wedding
I
offerings.
just pass them off to a servant, put them on the gift.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens.
So.
Welcome to First Ladyhood.
Right. So presumably we're both in the receiving line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Together.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it's best you and I speak alone now.
I think that would be an excellent idea. 1 second.
So and it
Call
looks,
someone
I make
over.
it look like a romantic whisper, and then I tell her, giggle a little bit.
She does. I mean, awkwardly, like,
Right.
ha, like she's not very good at this game, but she's trying.
Right.
She needs a Phryane Tinuith in her life.
Ha 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 ha.
My bride and I need some time alone.
And there's right away now. So they begin walking you over, and everyone stops as you all hear the roar of a dragon turtle.
Shit, did we do that? What is that? What is that? I didn't do that. That wasn't me. I didn't do that. Don't know how to do that. That was totally you. I thought you were supposed to be calling some kind of distraction. You go hide now. What is it doing?
Okay, Oinkers has already hidden.
Okay.
He was long ago hidden. He had found 2 barrels and has wedged himself in between them. Aaron LaFleur's men stood shocked for a second and are quickly trying to get the rest of those barrels that they've offloaded already onto the boat. As also soldiers seem to be starting to react. There are 2 boats other than yours currently in the harbor. One of them is a merchant ship and it's close to the dragon turtle. The other one is a warship, and you can see soldiers readying was it ballistae? Okay, so they're readying ballistas. No,
Ballistae.
they're readying a ballistae. Okay, they're readying. That sounds so weird. They're readying ballistae, and there's 3 of them on that boat. And out of the corner of your eye, you see the same guy who took a shot at you earlier. He's across the plaza about 300 yards, and he's like, not about 300 yards, about 100 yards. So about 100 yards across the plaza, and he's in like a back alley, and he's just kind of looking over at you.
I pointed out to Torrvic.
Okay.
Who's that guy? Look, it's that guy.
As soon as you point, he vanishes back into the alley.
Who's that guy? What is you talking about? Who's that guy? We got a fucking turtle here. Who's that guy? What is the matter? I'm gonna try to talk to the turtle for a second.
Perception.
What? You're gonna what?
So what do you say to the turtle?
Oh, great turtle thing!
Wisdom.
Hello!
Wisdom. No, charisma. I'm sorry.
Hello!
Charisma 20. Not 18 plus 2.
He turns and he glares right towards you, and he kind of looks for a second. His eyesight doesn't look that good. And he looks around, and then he finally sees you.
Do I know what language it is?
Roll intelligence.
9.
You don't know.
No.
You can
But
roll
it's definitely
intelligence.
not something that I...
It's definitely not something you know.
Okay.
There are certain words and certain inflections that sound a little familiar, like it could come from a much older version of your own language of Dwarven, but not enough for you to piece anything together.
I don't think it's working, Torrvic!
I would say it's about 2 rounds away.
What if I got you on it? What if you touched it? Do you think you'd be able to, like, commune with it better?
He's speaking some language that I've never heard before. It sounds like Old Dwarfish.
Well, that bear didn't speak at all.
I didn't speak to the bear. I felt the bear.
Right. Well, maybe you get up there and feel the turtle.
That's not an animal. I'm not getting the same feeling from that. Whatever that is. That's something else.
1 round. One of the soldiers has their ballista ready, and they fire, and it just kind of sails right over the creature's head. It kind of turns a little bit, and the second one fires. And that strikes it right in the shoulder, but the bolt just shatters. It hits part of its armored back and just splinters.
How does it react to the second?
It stops, and it turns. You can see it breathing in, and as it starts to breathe in, you can see tendrils of steam rolling out from its mouth.
And he's aiming that steam thing to the...
He seems to be aiming it towards the... Whatever he's going to do, he's pointing towards the boat.
Get me on top of him. Just go. Let's try it. They're fucked, but we can do it. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
While he's like, take my hand.
Yep.
I climb up on his shoulders and like
So you
grab him by the head.
So you
and
reform the dwarfling.
The dwarfling returns.
Right, okay. So you climb up on top of him, and you have a whole round to focus. No one's directly interfering with you at the moment, so you focus and focus. I need a wisdom save, please.
15.
15 will do. You appear on its back. I need dexterity saves.
Oh no.
Oh, shit.
Oh no.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 1.
Holy shit!
What did you roll? No!
So you both land perfectly on its back, and then it just turns its head to the side, and you both tumble right off it and are falling towards the water.
Shit!
With each other or on either side of its head?
No, with each other, because it turned, it tilted its head one
try
way.
and grab him and do it again.
As you are falling, you hear an almighty bellow. And a bolt of steam smashes into the ship, rips through the sails, splinters woods. You see men boiled alive in an instant. And the whole ship is pretty much cracked in half.
I'm screaming on the way down, so you just go, uh-oh.
Yeah.
12 to catch him.
That's enough. You grab his hand.
And then... Oh, wait, what is this? What's the second?
You're having to focus, so roll wisdom, because you're falling while you're doing this.
7.
No, for a second, you feel that pull, and then you just lose it, and you guys are falling straight towards the water. I need dex saves to try and dive, or at least hit the water right.
No, yeah, thanks
8.
for being fucking amazing now. 24.
Okay, you managed to get into a perfect dive position. You just kind of fall.
Belly flop!
Constitution saves, both of you, as you crack into the water.
11.
Okay.
15.
All right. Torrvic, take 12 points of damage. Take 7, and you're unconscious. No, just Doug.
Shit! So I dive down.
Roll
Try to
strength.
grab him.
That's plenty.
Yeah, I was gonna say 20.
You basically just grab him by his collar and yank him right up to the surface, and he's breathing, but he's out cold.
Alright, I'm gonna do my lay of hands and try to wake him up.
So how many hit points do you want to heal him?
Because it's a panic situation, just...
All of your hit points come back, and you are wide awake and sputtering. Right as they call to an order, there is an ungodly roar. And people start to panic and look around, and wham wham tries to retain order, but there's a lot of rubble. Take them, and slam, trying to get order, but it's just fallen into anarchy. Guards are now grabbing you guys by the arms and marching you back towards your cells. Okay?
Works
You're
for me.
marched into the back and straight past your cells. You are marched out the back and thrown into a carriage that was not the same carriage that brought you here, nor are there royal guards on it. As you're being pushed into the back, you recognize those aren't guards riding this wagon. There's about 8 plainclothes men.
Baron LaFleur, I presume. Right.
Yeah, is that what you're gonna say?
Yes.
Okay, they roll a perception.
13.
They all look confused for a sec, and then a bag drops over your head. And you hear Pera no, wait, stop, and muffled. And then you feel yourself hurled into the back of a wagon and a door slammed. Phryane, you are being led into a chamber, and it is closed behind you, and inside is a ridiculous bedroom. There is a giant round bed, and it has drapery all around it, and there are candles of every color of both Ani and Ryland. There are scented baths. There is 2 baths drawn side by side with a little table in the middle. There are champagne flutes everywhere, food, anything you could possibly imagine. There's even an easel set up for the royal painter to come and paint you post stealing of your relationship.
Post coitus.
Send them in.
Well, before we vacuum them in, I quick yank down my top.
So your eyes go wide for a second.
And sort of entwine myself with her.
Very receptive to that.
And then say, enter.
and a page enters and quickly lowers his eyes. Ma'ams, your friends are gone.
Gone.
The emissaries were sent to get them. There's some disruption. There's a dragon turtle, and they're gone.
That is a lot of information to process.
Yes, ma'am.
Fetch my father, and did Brannick go with them to get my friends?
Oh, you don't know. Brannick was, yes, let's say he did. That makes sense. Brannick went with them, but he'd be back then, because they weren't there.
Fetch my father and fetch Brannick.
Brannick, who doesn't necessarily know who Brannick is.
Figure it out.
Yes, ma'am. Quickly leaves. A few minutes later,
Do I have to do your job for you? I mean,
Worst intern ever.
let's say 30 seconds later, because they were like, Brannick, just like big shouting. Right, yeah, where's Brannick?
Enter.
Hey, Your Majesty. Hey, Your Other Majesty. He just kind of puts his head down. I'm here.
Wonderful. What news of the council chamber and something about a dragon turtle?
Yeah, ma'am, apparently...
Bill Brannick, you know you don't have to stand on formality with me.
Yeah, but he knows he has to stand on formality with you. And yes, ma'am. And there's a dragon turtle in the harbor, and a bunch of guys are going there, and we can't find any of them. Like Xion and Pera were supposed to give, they gave testimony, and they were taken out of the courtroom because dragon turtle, and then they just like gone. They were supposed to be in their cells, and they're gone.
Is there anyone who witnessed them being removed?
I can find out.
Go find out.
Oh, and he's gone.
Alright, well, now...
I felt like that was a weird scene for poor old Brannick. It's like,
It was a good.
this
It
is
was
the woman I love, but now she's a lesbian.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do. He's got such a tiny head.
Yeah.
He's so confused by
with
these things.
so many
There's
feels.
gone into, like, the training mode.
Probably room for some lesbian fantasies.
Oh yeah. There's no. Well, that's part of the confusion. You know, there's a lot going on in Brannick's little tiny mind right now. Any one of these things, Brannick might be able to handle. All of them are way too much for Brannick to handle.
Intense training.
That's sort of what I'm relying on. Just
Yeah.
follow the orders, Brannick. Start to get dressed, I guess.
Okay.
Because I, can't deal with a dragon turtle and missing people with my tits out.
Fair enough.
I could, but I prefer not to.
there's the quote.
Yo, dragon turtle. Hey.
There's the quote for the episode.
That's absolutely the quote for the episode. As you start to untwine with her, your finger just brushes against the tabard, and I need a will save. That's all right? Damn it. Wisdom save.
Yay!
19.
Okay. You feel like you were just pulled into that world instantly. No draw this time. You're suddenly not where you are.
Like the astral plane realm.
Exactly, yeah. So it's that purple pink haze around the side, but it's instantaneous. You blink your eyes and suddenly you are seated atop of that huge stone tower. You're looking out across all of the waste. It's clearly present day this time, not in the past like it was before. And you're looking out over all of the waste, and you turn and cut in the center of that massive arced tower is a flat platform. And on that platform is that same ringed structure. There's basically a crypt, and there were two hands holding up, and there was a black ring in the center of it. There is no ring, there are no people that were there before. There are just 4 black smudges where people may have been. Like if you've seen when a nuke goes off and it leaves a person burned, that is what is facing in 4 locations out from the center of it. On the northern end, you see the God King withered and frail and slumped over it as his dead eyes rise to meet yours.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Godsfall. Next week, we're going to have another world-building episode because 2 reasons. 1, we need a break. We are right up against our recorded sessions, and if I don't have 1 more week of break in between them, I'm going to run out of material. The second reason is that a lot of you have been asking us to fill in more details about the Godsfall world and about the 5 kingdoms. So we're going to do another show similar to episode 1, where it's just me talking, a bunch of sound effects, and a whole bunch of information about the world. And we'll be back the following week to resume our actual play episodes. In the meantime, y'all should check out the RPG Academy. I went on their podcast last week to talk about Godsfall and gaming and just general geekery, and I dropped a couple big bombs about the future of Godsfall. So if you want to check that out, go to the rpgacademy.com and look for the Godsfall episode. We've got links to that episode on the website, along with maps and information and character sheets that all will help flush out the Godsfall world. So go to godsfall.com, Check all that out. If you feel like dropping us some money in Patreon or you want to pick up one of our t-shirts, every little bit helps. We truly appreciate it. If not, head over to iTunes, drop us a review. It's the best way we have to promote the show and get it in front of as many people as possible. So thank you all again very much for listening to Godsfall, and we will see you next week.